Hello everyone, this is I am Sagar Shah from Chessbase India at the 16th Delhi Open 2018. Today is the 4th round of the tournament and we are already almost 2 hours into the match, and this is going to be an exciting round. We have 11 players on 3 out of 3. The top board clash is between two Indians, Abhijeet Gupta playing with the white pieces against Deepan Chakravarti. So this is going to be a very interesting battle because Deepan and Abhijeet both are very good friends of each other and they have been playing each other for many times in the past. So it's going to be a good match to watch. So let's begin. Deepan is playing with black over here and the game began with d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, b6. This is the Queen's Indian, and Abhijeet goes for a3. Now this is the thing about Abhijeet, he has quite a few weapons under his sleeve. Sometimes he goes for the Catalan with g3, sometimes he goes for this a3 line, which is the Petrosian Kasparov system, and here I also like to play this way with black. It's very classical. You develop your bishop to b7 and then you break in the center with d5. Queen c2 was played by Abhijeet. Usually they take on d5 and then after knight d5 you can play the move e3 or queen c2. These two moves are possible. And well, in this particular scenario Abhijeet played queen c2, bishop e7, knight cd, knight d5, e4, knight into c3, b into c3, and we have a classical case of where black is going to attack the center with the move c5 and white will have to maintain his central pawns on e4 and d4. So it's going to be a pretty interesting battle in that sense, as to, can black break the center. And immediately Deepan played the move c5. Now maybe it was also interesting to go castle first, and then after bishop d3 you go c5. This is quite common, and then one of the main lines is castles, queen c8, with the idea of coming out to a6, and then queen e2 is played because you don't want cd4 to come in, and then bishop a6, rook to d1, take, and this is something that I learned when I was young from Daniel King's Power Play 2, how to build up an attack, where this rook lift is often quite useful. The knight could jump to e5 and rook could go and attack. I mean, it's a very double-edged position with black playing on the queen side and the center and white going for a king side attack. Anyway, so instead of playing castle, Deepan played the move c5 and Abhijeet immediately took the opportunity to give a check. Bishop c6 was met with bishop d3, and white's contention is that the bishop stands not so well on c6. First of all, it could block the knight from coming to c6, and secondly, we just saw this idea of queen c8 and bishop a6, which is no longer possible. Castles, and Deepan had to waste a tempo with the move bishop b7, rook d1, knight d7. I have a feeling that already Abhijeet is quite happy with the position that he has on the board. He went bishop f4, queen went to c8 and queen e2. So we have all the similar contours to what we discussed, but just that now bishop a6 is not possible. More the pieces on the board, better it is for white, mainly because he wants to launch a kingside attack. Liquidator, who's online, asks what about bishop d2 instead of a quick e4? I think that's a good idea. also possible, and it has been played before, but without queen c2. Like over here, you can take and play bishop d2. This is also one of the main moves, and yeah, even queen c2, and here also bishop d2 is possible. If I'm not mistaken, it was Alexei Drev who liked to play it this way. Take on c3 with the bishop, but if I was black here, I would castle and then to e4, just take and play c5. This is the normal way to play. You don't need to think much, just castle, break the center and get a good position. Right, so coming back, queen c8, queen e2, rook e8, a4. This move rook e8 is often played to put the knight on f8, where it defends h7 and is not harassed by the move e5 if it were on f6. So knight sometimes belongs to f8 in such positions. a4, knight f6, h3, rook d8. One gets the feeling that Deepan is not so comfortable with his position. I mean, he's making these moves, first bishop c6 going back to b7, then rook e8 to d8. So Abhijeet is slowly and systematically making progress. And here now the interesting part of the game begins, because after a5, c4 was played. Liquidator says, I followed Drev's game, I played this myself. Well, that's nice. I have a feeling that it's a little bit less aggressive than the queen c2 ideas, you know, taking on c3 with the pawn, because there you have more attacking chances. Bishop c3 is more positional in that sense. Yeah, the point is to maintain your pawn structure on the queen side. Agreed. Vinayaka, hello, welcome to the show. So people slowly coming in. Bishop c2, b5 was played over here, and this is interesting, because if you take on c4, then I think after bishop e4, black has absolutely no problems. Bishop c2, b5, and Abhijeet's point is very simple. Sure, you created your queenside majority, but what about my two beautiful central pawns now? You're not going to be able to touch them, and that's the reason why he can hope for a good attack on the king side. So bishop g5 was played, and now he's angling for e5 move, and then queen could go to e4 and create some issues over there. a6 and d5. So this is typical Abhijeet. He is looking at all the tactics. By the way, you cannot really win a pawn here, because first of all, the bishop on e7 is hanging, and secondly, I mean, you cannot take knight d5, bishop e7. Even if you go rook e8, I think there are some problems with the move queen e4 here. This should not be any good for white, for black. This is just bad. I was considering something like knight e7 here, when you take king f8, but this is this should already lose after, say, queen h8, knight g8, bishop h7. This is one way in which you can play, or there could be several other ways of winning this position. Even knight e5 to d7 looks very strong. Moving on, let's look at the position. Queen c7 was played, bishop f6 was taken, and gf6 had to be played. If he would have taken with the bishop, you already had to worry about e5, bishop back, and d6. So gf6 is not something that Deepan would have liked, but it's necessary to do this. de, fe, knight d4. Now we are looking at the e6 weakness. Queen is coming into g4. This looks really dangerous. Queen e5, and now queen g4 check was played. King h8. maybe white can already think about winning a pawn here with queen into e6. I don't see, like, is there a tactical resource with rook d4? Yeah, this is a possibility. Rook d4, and if you take here, I have the intermediate check and I win a piece, perhaps. Okay, you can still continue the line with rook d1, fe5, rook d7. But overall, this seems pretty good for black. Once the queens are exchanged, you have the queenside majority. So this is not where Abhijeet wants to go. Also, he could have considered knight into e6, but I think he is worried about rook g8 creating some pressure on the king side. So he didn't take the pawn. He played f4 first, pushing the queen away, and now Deepan in thought he played the move f5. This is the current position that we have on the board. I'm wondering what exactly would happen if I take this over here, ef, but then I have to be very, very certain about queen e3 check, king moves, and rook g8. This might create great problems. You know, this bishop opens up. It's not so great. Well, if I play f into e5, f into g4 is also a possibility, but all queen exchanges are actually in favor of black. That's what I feel. Even if white can win this pawn on e6, let's consider something like rook d1, and gh perhaps here. Okay, maybe gh would be met with rook d7. So yeah, this is a possible line that could happen here. I'm trying to figure out if this is the best. This pawn is always pretty weak, so you know, something like bishop d8 to a5 should always be thought of. Also, are there any moves that have been played from this position after f5? Not really. f5 has been played by Deepan, and Abhijeet is thinking, he knows this is the critical moment of the game over here. If he can find a good move, it is almost certain that he would win this game. So what are the other options here? I need to keep the f4 pawn defended maybe, but it's also not a 100% requirement, because if I go queen e2, queen f4, knight e6, rook d1, yeah, this looks a playable position for black. This is not so great. Nikhil Sharma here, who says knight f3. That's an interesting move. Knight to f3. I didn't consider this at all, but well, what are you going to do to queen c5 check? So this is not going to work. Yeah, f into e5. This is what Abhijeet must be considering here. fe5, fg4, and if you count the pawns, they are right now, white is a pawn up, and he's also sorry, white is not a pawn up for now, but he's winning a pawn on e6, and I think this is the position which we can reach in the game. How would the play continue? Now that's the question, because I'm not so happy about how white has played it here. You know, it's not like e4 is hanging, says Rahul Suresh. In bishop c8 over here, knight c7, I don't know, bishop c5 check, king h1 or h2 for example. First I cannot really play this, because then rook d8 check would come. quite strong. So first I could just play rook a7, attacking this knight. Knight d5, bishop c5, king h2. Overall, it seems as if the worst is over for black. I mean, look at his two bishops. Even though he's a pawn down, these pawns make absolutely no sense to me. So, yeah, as Nikhil Sharma rightly points out, black has slightly upper hand once the pieces are traded. Yeah, that's really a good point. So Abhijeet will be looking to maintain queens here somehow, but how can he do that? That is the question. Queen f3 is another move which should be considered, but then you have suddenly moves like f into e4. Once again, not so clear what's going on here. So I'm beginning to feel that f5 by Deepan is very interesting, you know, not as simple. Yeah, it's going to be something where queen g3 is another possibility which we mustn't discount, because now you have f4 controlled, also the queen is attacked, and you don't really want to make a move like queen f6, because then e5, and you're just maybe this is also not so clear, because although e6 is weak and you know you got these nice pawns, suddenly there is pressure down this file with bishop on b7. It's becoming increasingly difficult to understand who's better here. Maybe Abhijeet has to go for f into e5. So we will see. We'll keep a tab on this game and see what's going on. There were a few other interesting games that that definitely we want to look at. One of them being Arkady Naidich playing on the top board. Well, before just leaving, I want to take one more comment. Rahul Suresh, who's here, says f into e5 seems the most logical, and if that's the case, if you think so, then you will have to fg4 here, and you will have to analyze the consequences of this line over here. I don't like this bishop so much, you know, it has absolutely no scope. This is the problem. And if I take on e6, I think this is where I am kind of stuck. I don't know how to assess this. I don't want to play gh, right? I mean that seems really bad because of rook d7. Are there some tactical tricks which could save black? I don't see them. So he can't play gh. He must look out for, I think, bishop c8 over here, and then could happen next. Maybe this is the line which could happen, which we just looked at, and black looks completely fine to me. So okay, so how about going to the next game? That's Arkady Naidich, who's on 2.5 points. He drew against Ratnakaran yesterday, and today he's up against Samed Shetty, youngster from Kolhapur, who recently played the national premier, and I think that has really helped him gain really good ground in chess, because he lost so many games in that tournament, and he learned so much from that experience that he's able to hold his own against good players. Yesterday he beat Ivan Rozum. Today he's up against Naidich. So let's just see. Naidich is white today. He must be really looking forward to a win with the white pieces. Also, his opponent is rated nearly 400 points below him, but you never know, you know, these yesterday Ratnakaran too was rated 400 points below. Now bishop f4, London system, g6, knight c3, d5, e3, bg7, h4 was played, Jobawa style over here. h5. Samir didn't really want to allow the move h5 at any point, so knight f3, bishop f5, knight e5 was played, and c6, f3. So Niklesh is going for a kingside attack for sure. If not stopped, he will play g4 here, but Samir quickly gets his act together. He plays knight bd7. Now if you go g4, I think you will have to seriously consider what's happening after this position. I'm not really sure who's better, but it looks complicated. Liquidator says, don't they normally go for queen d2 and try not to play e3 like Bachmann versus Sprague? Yeah, I mean, if you remember that game, that went really bad for white. He played knight c3, d5. I mean, Prague was just all over him in 18 moves. In general, I think what Niklesh is doing here is he's trying to go for some kind of unusual positions to outplay his opponents. Okay, queen d2 was played, and a5, long castle, a4, a3, queen a5. And black is getting some play on the queen side over here. Knight into e5, bishop e5, d5, and we get a position where Niklesh, who wanted to go all out, had to go for a queen exchange. And if we look at the current position now, I have a feeling that after e5, black cannot be in too much trouble here. I mean, yes, it's true that this knight is well placed on b4 looking at c6 square, but what else? I mean, apart from that, he's pretty well placed. Yeah, c6 pawn is a bit weak. So e5, this is the position that we have on the board right now. And Niklesh has to find a way out of this. D into e5, knight into e5. This looks pretty good for black. Don't see anything wrong here. And if you don't do anything, I'm just playing rook e8. Yes, c6 is a tad weak, but you can't really put pressure to me. Yeah, as Liquidator says, this looks equal to me. Same here. I feel that black has no real worries at this point. Well, if you can somehow transfer your rook to c3 square, that could be give you some edge. Like, for example, bishop d3. This is the move that could be considered. Also, another move which should be looked at is g4 for sure. Hg, fg, bishop e4 would be played. Yeah, there's nothing much over here. I mean, you could try for h5, but somehow the central play is just pretty good. Black isn't even forced to move his rook, just wait. Yeah, in a way, a lot of ways to play, but it seems like this is a position where the superior player will come out on the top. Niklesh might not be too unhappy with what he has got here, because there are imbalances and he can outplay his opponent who is 400 points below him. So how about going to another game? One of the interesting games that I did see was between Arjun Kalyan, who's playing on the second board, against Solodovnichenko Yuri. Solodovnichenko, of course, a very strong GM from Ukraine. I personally have played with him many times. He sometimes I have a decent score with him. Maybe it's like 2 times we have played 2 draws. But when he gets to attack, he's really dangerous. So yeah, g4 was a good option. Tapovrat Handike in that position. It's possible, but as we analyzed, hg, fg, bishop e4 might give white a good position, black a good position. So coming back to the game between Solodovnichenko and Arjun Kalyan, over here rook a d8 was the last move played by Arjun, and if you count the pawns, what we are looking here is, well, maybe we can have a co-commentator enter into our studio, Niklesh Jain, who's here. Welcome, Niklesh.
Namaskar.
Maybe just adjust a bit. Okay. Yeah. Let's see if we are fitting in the screen. Yes, looks good. Niklesh, we are looking at this game between Solodovnichenko, who's white,
Okay.
against Arjun Kalyan. Arjun, a youngster from Chennai, and he has been going really high in the ratings now, reached 2420.
And his looks looking so really strong right now.
Yes, true. I am worried about a few things in black's position. That's the a5 pawn and also the f8 bishop. But then the a5 pawn is already an extra pawn.
Yeah, extra pawn, and if somehow he is able to exchange his bishop with white bishop, sometimes h5, bishop h6 or something.
Possible. But here it's white to play, and maybe white
is going to take this, yeah.
Could take, but then he has to consider knight into e4. What's happening here? I think maybe Solodovnichenko would not want to go for such an exchange where he loses his central e4 pawn.
And again, after if
so,
I think he will be pawn up.
Yeah, he would be pawn up here. So the question is, how should white continue this position? Because if he plays, say, something like knight to g3, defending the e4 pawn, already there could be some issues on the back rank with rook check, king h2.
And can we play immediately h5 is that possible?
Yeah, that's an interesting move, h5.
Yeah.
In fact, I would even like to
before h5 direct, because not only knight is active, is you are pushing the knight, also the activating the bishop.
It's a very good move actually. I think that h5 is a perfect move. In this position, you are looking at h4 coming in. Bishop could go to h6 as you mentioned. So that's a nice move. Overall, Arjun seems to be in absolutely no problems here, from what we can see. Solodovnichenko has to fight for a draw. By the way, one of the most interesting games that we were looking at some while ago, and everyone was very excitedly looking
Abhijeet
ahead.
Gupta and Rajnikant.
Yeah, Abhijeet Gupta playing with the white pieces against Deepan Chakravarti, and a lot of viewers were trying to figure out what's going on, and we left last time at this position when f5 was played by Deepan, and this was crazy complications. I was trying to see if you could move your queen away somehow, but then the problem was that this diagonal opens up
is a problem,
and
rook g8
rook comes in. So finally Abhijeet decided to play it safe, and he took on e5 and then fg and knight e6. This is what happened in the game, and after rook d1, now rook e8 was played. I was considering the move bishop c8 in my analysis, and after
Forced
that,
to knight to decide his place.
yes, and after something like knight c7, rook a7, this is what we were looking at.
But now the e pawns are looking dangerous.
No, but somehow the bishop
knight f4,
is
knight
controlling this, and yeah, I mean king has to move.
Yeah.
I felt that somehow black was doing completely okay here, also because these pawns were pretty weak on the queen side.
Yeah, and double bishop.
But let's look at Deepan's move, rook e8. Now what is happening is that Abhijeet has a pawn up, is a pawn up in this position, but look at the number of weak pawns he has. I mean, even if he wins a second pawn over here, I don't think he should be very happy with that fact. Perhaps just move the bishop away, yeah? Something like bishop a3.
Bishop a3.
And then you are looking at
No,
b2.
at that particular position, I'm saying it's possible knight c7 and then knight d5.
Yeah, it's possible, I think, to go knight c7 here, but knight on d5 just doesn't look so great. I can even go rook d8 here.
Okay.
And for example, if you take, you are already losing the a5 pawn, and if you do not take, and
No, right now knight d5.
if you play knight d5, you will have to think about
Bishop
this
c5
check.
and yep.
king h2. This looks okay for black. I mean, black should not be worried about this position.
Okay. There's no chance of pushing of e6 or something. Oh, because these bishops are not working on c2.
Yeah, exactly.
This bishop is not in the game.
This bishop is not working in the game, and somehow black is looking very active. So I would say Deepan actually wriggled out of the bad position in a quite an interesting manner. But still, maybe my assessment could be incorrect over here. However, I have a feeling that black is doing fine.
No, definitely the white bishop has to find some way where white is going to use this bishop.
Yeah, sure. And also this is not working because just drops back and then you have trouble. So draw. He took hg4. So we have a slight delay in broadcast because it's a 15-minute delay, and so we have news that Abhijeet took on g4 with this pawn, and bishop c8 was played, knight to c7, rook d8, and Abhijeet played
rook d5.
d5.
Okay, rook d5.
Yeah, makes more sense because he's keeping the tension in the position, and bishop into g4 was played. So thanks a lot to Vishal for suggesting, for telling us the current position on the board right now. It's very funny because this knight somehow defends this rook, this bishop somehow defends this rook. They are kind of with each other.
And also this knight defending bishop rook to by bishop, like bishop e6 is not possible.
Yeah. So what about taking on a6? Is this very silly? I mean, you're winning a pawn.
But why he gave his pawn?
No, I think he was looking at something like rook a8 now.
But still.
And then you,
because the a5 pawn is already weak for white.
Yes, but you know, here I think over here already it was such a position where black
can
has
we improve
to do
the
something.
king here for black?
Yeah, perhaps king g8 was a possibility, but then you will have to consider bishop d1.
Bishop will come on and okay.
And then you might be 2 pawns down.
Okay.
And what Deepan thought was maybe he takes.
At least take 1 pawn back and
then after knight c7 take on a5 perhaps.
But then rook into b5 possible?
Yeah, rook into b5 or knight into b5.
But knight into b5 have bishop e6 I think.
Yeah, bishop e6, that's a nice move. This looks bad.
So you have to take with the rook only.
Yeah. Take with the rook.
I think if you exchange here in this position, I think Abhijeet will hold this match easily.
No, Abhijeet is definitely pretty okay. But definitely he's not worse.
Yeah, definitely.
What is happening here is can Deepan create enough play to like rook a3 was one option. But also
No,
maybe
but one
you
thing
can
is very
take
sure, yeah, like Deepan is pawn down, so
Yeah.
he has to play active to use his compensation. Otherwise, Abhijeet pawn up Abhijeet is dangerous.
Yeah, definitely. Abhijeet, as we know, yesterday again with Gukesh, he
Even
was
pawn down is dangerous.
he was nearly minus 2
Yeah.
points. I
And
mean,
he
he was
come back.
completely losing, and then in that position he tricked him. So it's very dangerous to be in time pressure against him.
Abhijeet, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. We have seen in the Mumbai also when he won some against pawn
Abu
down.
Sufyan,
Yeah, pawn down
Abu
and
Sufyan,
he
Shakil.
won the match.
Mm.
So
I
it's
have a
not
feeling that something like this would happen after rook b5. Not take the rook, but say something like rook a3. Draw is my take somehow. White will push, but the game should end in a draw. We have some questions here. Anmol Vijwani says, "Good morning. I'm unrated player and I'm going to play in this tournament.
What
I want to ask which documents are required."
I think you should call Mr. Jitendra Chaudhary or Mr. Arun for this.
No, but in general,
yeah.
where are you living? If you are near Delhi, come and play the C category, which starts from day after tomorrow.
No, he's saying I'm going to play. I think maybe he's going to participate.
If you're going to play in the C category, then just come here. I don't know. You don't need any documents as such. Just bring an ID card and come and play here. Pay your entry fee.
Pay your entry fee. and,
register with AICF.
I think the mandatory is to register with AICF before the tournament.
Yes.
These days this is mandatory, so they can do this in I think on their official websites.
Yeah.
But there's no documents required.
Yeah. There's no and that's
Chess is very open game, my friend. You can come and play and enjoy this game.
1400 players are expected in the C group.
That means we are crossing around 2500 or something overall players.
2400.
This is it's a record I think in Asia also.
Well, it's a record, and every year that record is going to be broken by them. I don't see anyone else.
Yeah,
coming
every
even
year they are
close.
breaking their own record.
It's like some kind of Sachin Tendulkar or Vishy Anand. They don't compete with anyone but
And,
themselves.
Yeah.
By the way, Keshav Sharma says, could we see the players and commentary simultaneously? Keshav, this is something that we are working on, and we hope that this will soon be introduced on our live broadcast, and that time you would be able to see on one frame the players, analysis board, and the commentators.
Yes, definitely. If this will come, so chess will become more interesting.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, we have one more move in this position. Instead of playing knight c7,
Okay.
Deepan went Abhijeet went knight b4.
Okay.
And
the idea is knight c6.
yeah, if you take knight c6,
and if
check.
you give check, king king h2.
Yeah, maybe h2 is better to
because
avoid some checks here.
no, also the pinning is possible because of
Yeah,
bishop
rook
e2.
a2 is also possible.
So,
And now, you see, these pawns over here
Yeah,
look
yeah.
weak. Okay,
I'm telling you that is the point also. If they move further,
this is the kind of positions Abhijeet loves.
Yeah.
Some tricks here, some tricks there, and then suddenly
you
this
force your
pawn
opponent.
moves up.
You force your opponent to means in danger zone. He has to calculate many things. He has to careful for many things, and the imbalances kind of Abhijeet manage in his position.
Yeah,
It's making difficult for his opponent job.
right. Also, you have to consider e6, bishop e6, and then these two bishops in one line, so something
Yeah.
could happen. Are there any more updates in this position?
King f2. Okay.
Yeah, king f2,
Two.
but then rook a2 is something which also has to be looked at. But yeah, this bishop is hanging.
Okay. Okay.
If you play rook a2,
then
knight
okay, maybe
e7,
knight e7 and
rook c2,
king.
king g3 attacks this bishop first, so you have no time to take on c3.
And now the pawn.
You can attack this.
But rook e6.
Rook
rook
d6,
d6,
rook
yeah.
c3, king f4,
No.
and you come to a situation where somehow the white pieces are coordinating better.
Better than
Just
and
like
there-
yesterday.
If I think I'm thinking of the king g5, king f6 or something. So
Possible, very possible. Knight, rook, and
there is
king
a mating chance also.
can weave a
Yeah.
nice mating net. So if king f2 is played,
And
you can't.
here I
take-
think Abhijeet, you find Abhijeet better, because like this type of positions, like pawn on b5 and c4, and opponents have to calculate, okay, the queening is possible, things are possible. So in tense situation, he calculate well.
yes, and also he has
Yeah.
more time.
Yeah, he
So
always.
when he has more time, he's more confident. Well, this is going to be interesting. We'll keep an eye on this. DP Chess asks us what is happening in Ratnakaran's game, and today he has a very interesting opponent. He is facing Sergey Tivyakov, and this is very interesting when our Indian Tal, whom we have given this name, faces some well-known foreign grandmasters, international grandmasters, because then we get to see some kind of a unique indigenous style taking on an international player.
Yesterday he surprised Nadish, so
Naidish didn't know what happened in the game actually. I mean, of course he drew it towards the end, but today we are looking at this position right now. Last move by Tivyakov
he
was
simply is attacking on f4 pawn, and
rook d6.
king is little danger.
So it's a material imbalanced position. For a change, Ratnakaran is on the defensive.
But I think Tivyakov is clearly better, looks better.
Let's try to assess
Because
the
position
situation.
his pieces are very well placed, and there's not any big weakness,
So the king looks nice and safe. This
rook is
guy
okay.
is
This
kind of
bishop on
shuddering in the
bishop and
corner.
b2 is
Yeah, this
bishop
bit
b1. So
is
yeah.
spitting fire here.
all the pieces of white is
What
very
about
good position.
what about this pawn?
Yes, simply the idea is after rook t6 is attacking f4.
So the question is it already all over? Does Ratnakaran have
Because
something?
Ratnakaran queen is
The queen is kind of
he just
out
shut
of
the queen, and now look at the position. What black will do? How will
So,
save the f4 pawn?
DB Chess, if you are a fan of Ratnakaran, I think this is not good news for you.
Yeah.
Seems like he is in big trouble. I don't see any good squares for his pieces. I mean, I was looking at bishop to g6, trying to get something exchanged.
But after queen,
Uh,
even if okay, queen f4,
yeah, just take f4.
because if you even you take
I
this,
take b1.
Yeah.
And
I
then
think
rook
take with the rook now.
b1,
because you cannot take. Or you take.
knight e6.
No, it's. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see. For example, queen g3 check, and then I can just drop back here. You have this trick
Well,
here.
this is trick.
Rook
That,
into
that's,
c6.
that's why I'm just checking that. There's
Is
a discover
this
check is
working?
possible.
No, okay, you have this check from here to save yourself.
Okay.
So this doesn't work.
Somehow, okay, bishop g6.
Bishop g6 is the only kind of active looking move, so I thought maybe it's worth giving it a think. At
No,
least.
but if we just leave it for, we will take, okay, we will take bishop into g6,
yeah,
will
take.
not misplace our rook, and then play queen d3 or something then?
Yeah, queen d3, maybe king g7.
Yeah, I'm saying if the in position improve in such few moves, again f4 pawn is always weak.
Yep.
Maybe in some point, maybe
No, the thing is, it's for sure that white is better, but the question is whether white is completely winning or black, because I see after bishop g6, perhaps there is some hope for Ratnakaran here. I think the critical line should be to take this guy, and then to take this, and here maybe you don't need to take the bishop first.
the bishop is going back. Check.
Yeah, you must take. Yeah,
You
there
must
is no
take,
other
yeah,
way.
yeah.
And now knight e6 is what I was considering.
Okay.
Hmm.
Can we play no? It's queen e4 is possible. queen e4. No,
No,
okay, no,
no,
rook is hanging. Rook
no.
is hanging. You cannot move from there. So like queen g3 looks like must. Queen g3.
Yeah, queen g3, knight to g7. I wanted to play.
If you
I
double
mean-
the rook here,
I mean, if you go king h8,
I think rook e1.
yeah, rook e1 looks pretty strong. So there
I
is
think
a
you have to move
suggestion
your-
by
move your
DB Chess who says instead of bishop b1, how about queen a7? Yeah, king h1
Yes,
and
same.
queen to f2, attacking the rook on e1. No, I mean, if this is something Ratnakaran gets to activate his forces, it might suddenly start becoming problematic. So, not so simple.
No, but the idea is good to activate his queen. Because
Yeah, very
queen
nice,
is not
DB chess,
participating, yeah.
Thanks for the suggestion.
But
But I hope that you guys agree with the fact that black is in trouble here. White is the one pushing. So yeah, we will come to this game again later on. But for now, Tivyakov is definitely the one who's calling all the shots. And today we have Suat here who's just finished his game. And I think his game was not live.
No, we didn't have
It was not live, but
Unless
you
I
won
would
the
jump.
game.
No, it was a draw, very sharp
It
game.
was a draw, Suat. So
And I brought Vitaly Svuk also, you know. No, he будешь commentary why if it is
so Sivuk is also here,
my family friend.
and he
so I think we are
drew his
impressed.
game against Aranyak Ghosh. So maybe we could have.
No, we don't check his game, he is upset.
We could have Suat here who could just show
No, he
his.
was a переведет, конечно.
So Suat, if you could just show us your game very briefly, the critical moment of the game.
I know the critical moment, but before the critical moment, actually it was a good game, you know. Nikhil or Dixit, which name I should use?
Nikhil is his first name. Nikhil, why don't you join us
I-
here? Maybe you could also.
And Vitaly how do we make?
Sorry?
So after we will look at Vitaly's game together, I will be the translator. Okay? Я переводчик, как всегда, я тебя переводил. Okay. So this is here, but I have to take. Тебе не был час 7? Тебе нет час? Не дал. Я дал, и это без батареи. Они сказали, это с батареей. Okay. Why did you cut your hair? All of a sudden. Okay, I
just a
have to
second.
protect my. Oops. What? How do we do?
So we have Suat Italic in the room with Nikhil Dixit. They both drew their game. Maybe Nikhil, you can sit
Yeah.
here for the camera, and Suat, you
So
need
we
to.
don't have Vitaly first.
It depends on. I mean, if you would like
We
to.
can
look at-
always stand, if you know.
If you need to come in.
No, I can't. I don't know which side to come. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So can I control the mouse, Nikhil?
Yeah,
Let's want it to. Okay.
So Nikhil, it's a big result for you. Yeah.
yeah.
No, why? I was better, Nikhil. I think. No, I
Yeah.
fit till some moment, but okay. Nikhil is a good player, but so should I start the game?
Yes.
Okay, so something today when I woke up after my first night with Timur in the room, the blindfold king. I had some impression that something happened to my friend Angorn. Something bad happened. Once in a while happens to you. You miss someone, and then you are worried. And I checked all of his game against King's Indian, but Nikhil, he went for a line which I also played back in my middle age. You know, since I am the probably one of the seniors, you see, I show my oops, this, that, and Nikhil played knight h5, which is Glek's idea. And okay, Glek was really the guy who came up with the system. His main idea is just when you push f4, like in any Maroczy type, it doesn't fit you, your position. So, and the regular move is queen d2, which I played. I had some game with Blam, actually quite a good game, but I played rook f2 just to surprise Nikhil. And also, you know, all this knight f4, queen h4, queen g5 type of things, I think rook is very safe there. So, what is your knowledge about Nikhil? My knowledge stopped with rook f2.
Yeah, actually, generally I play main line, but I saw.
I was prepared for the main line.
Yeah, so that's why I decided to play something.
So, okay, and what after rook f2? So you didn't.
Rook f2, I don't know actually rook f2.
Oh, this
So
is very good. So I really surprised Nikhil because I believe that I had
Yeah,
some
I have prepared
advantage
for
in the
queen
game.
d2.
Yeah, but rook f2 is helping me. I don't know. I mean, for the moment, it should be checked by the theory. I am not so sure, but here you
Yeah.
played knight f4, which looked like the most thematic move. Yeah.
Here actually I am thinking for f5.
Okay. So if you would push f5, I would have taken. Yes.
Yeah,
You would have
takes.
taken. And now I have, let's say, bishop d4 I go.
yeah,
And now, I mean, f5 is now I want to play f4. You know, f5 is a big concession. I don't know if you need it, you know. It should be checked. So, what you did was also sensible. You played knight f4, so I took here. You took, and it's very important that my rook defends my b2 pawn in many lines.
yeah.
And now I played bishop d4. I'm not in rush for c5 because you simply take.
Yeah, they into
And then
double
I
bishop.
don't know, it's the two bishops here that, as you well pointed out, doesn't serve me very well. So I played bishop d4, and now you played bishop e6. I played b3. You played now a5. I don't know if you should go bishop f8 back, you know, or bishop h6.
Yeah, actually my plan is a5, a4, if knight into a4, bishop into c4 after.
Yeah, but this is, I find my position quite appealing. I mean, I gave this
Yeah.
check, and if you go queen f6, I
Actually-
would push e5, yeah? And I'm better here, but when I
After
gave,
f5, I saw that bishop into b7 and queen f6, e5.
yeah, no, this is, so you played king g8, very normal, and now it's interesting, because if I push c5, you can push d5.
White should be better, right?
I was
yeah.
better, I believe, but now we will come to the critical moment, you know, or if I push, you know, let's put this one up, and if I push e5, still you really have to push d5, yeah?
Yeah, but
There are always some
there are,
tactics.
C5 maybe?
c5. Yeah.
Yeah, but are you really, I don't know who is better, you know, let's move something to b8, queen b8, rook b8. You know how much I like these guys on c7 and c6. No, I'm not so sure. Bishop goes to f5. HV. I don't know. I never liked these positions for white,
Like,
but it's a
rook
style.
D2, maybe rook D2, queen B4, knight E2.
No, okay, but how much we will hold this thing, you know? You know my affiliation, so
Yeah,
it's some understanding, you know. So I
Maybe
yeah,
a4 here.
yeah, okay. So this, or maybe I can take with a pawn. Maybe this one, yeah. Okay. Bishop d7.
F4 maybe.
Yeah, but I will also have my time. Rook a5. No, I don't know. I mean, I'm stuck to the defense of this guy. I mean, is it sure that I have advantage here? No?
Maybe
I-
rook C1, C2, but then yeah.
Everybody wants to get after my double pawns, but I really didn't see concrete. I think what I played was also, I mean, no, it's c5 or e5. They are very serious moves, which way you do. But what I played was really interesting. I played rook a e1. He pushed c5. Okay, now very important move, queen d3, that he doesn't have a4. Yeah, and now he found interesting idea. He went with the queen to h4. In some lines, I have to be careful about this guy there. Yeah. So I played knight b5 and hoping for some rook e7, but he played another move, rook fc8. And now after e5, I think it's everything we played was perfect. But if I play a4, I think I have some slight advantage.
Yeah.
And you may also play f6. It's not the end of the story. I mean, you don't have to play bishop d7, e5, and take here. Take
it's
that.
maybe
Even
better
this is
for-
not very clear. I'm not so sure if it's so clear, you know. Look at this kind of position. Because this is weak here. You may afford of sometimes losing a pawn in the ending, no? Now if Vitaly agrees, this is the last word. So okay, so let's go back and let's show the game, because a4 was critical, but what I played looked also very critical. So I forced the thing. So I pushed e5, and now you took, yeah.
Yeah, d into rook. Maybe
So-
this is equal.
Yeah, no, I think so, but it was very difficult to understand that it's equal from the beginning. You took, and I took with the pawn, which is a very important move, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. And now you took, I took, and now it looks like you have problems. But this, knight b6, and okay, you played this move. Actually, if you would have played this one, I
Then
wanted
rook
to play.
rook e3.
No, rook e3, rook a5. I can only
Yeah.
reverse because I don't have b4. Then I would play rook b1, rook d8,
Yeah.
rook d1. Now,
Now rook a3.
no, rook a3,
Rook
you will
c5,
always have some problems. But now, rook a, this one I have also
Yeah,
b4.
I have
So,
seen this.
so that's the thing, is like now you really have to go back, yeah. And now now it's more interesting because my rook is on d3 and holding my knight. And now maybe I can try
Yeah,
to play
this is-
for something. Even I have ideas, like it's not very clear, but even this is some idea. You know, to get out, to go after this guy. And I was seriously calculating, you know, which is probably the only thing left with my chess. But then it's this unbelievable thing. So you play immediate rook d8.
Yeah,
And all of a
actually-
sudden you have bishop g4, bishop d1. So if I do this, you play this,
Yeah.
this, you come check here, and this move. And now it's so I cannot do this. This was very, very good. So I have to go for the long line. I have to. After rook d8, I have to go knight d8, knight b7. You come here. Now you threaten to shut the. Okay, knight c5. Now you have rook a5. Very
No,
important.
actually, I saw f6, knight c5. Knight into c5, f6, rook into e6, rook a2. And
It's
maybe
even
it's,
simpler, but why
forced
don't you
draw.
play for a win? I want to play for a win now because the rook is stuck there. Also, yeah. I mean, I cannot
but
do it. So in
knight
any case,
d3, knight d3.
and after the exchange, and I don't know. Everything is very strange to play exchange and push c5. My knight is on the other side. No, maybe, but maybe. Okay, what you say? It's immediate draw if you want to. You play f6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I can. I didn't see that, to tell you the
Okay,
truth.
okay.
And you come to the second, and I have to agree for a draw. So I have to change the move order. Knight d6. From here we have to. Everything is very up. Let's jump this. Jump too much. Okay, so and here. So I have to change the move order. I have to, instead of taking here, I have to go rook g5. And now you have to go for h5, yeah, just in
Yeah.
time.
I
You
have
wa-
seen all this bg4, bd1.
Bishop g4 and bishop d1. So I played
Knight
knight c5. You have to play the bishop up, and I have to play knight a4 to prevent it.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, risky, because if I won, I can make a draw with h3. But now, just let's show our audience that you go here, and once again, you know, what Nimzovich called Laviran, you know, the absolute 7 or absolute second. I surrendered my hand. It would be a draw. So okay, so now very important. I play knight a4 and hoping for, you know, to get rid of the bishop and to come back. So and now you did another good move. You played bishop d1. Now I have to be careful actually to push e5. Yes, you take, I jump, and you even played the most ambitious move because you have two rooks to checkmate, you know, in case. And now I have to push, because if I push c5, and then I am simply worse. My knight is misplaced. Then I have to push. You take, and now that's a forced draw with, you know, with checks. Yeah. No matter where you go or no matter which rook comes, there is. It's very interesting. This part of the board is completely empty for checks, and it's a draw. No, it was a. I mean, a4 was a very important decision, and we have to check the theory with rook f2. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, so Vitaly's game, or you wanna? Okay, so but we need Sagar to fix all this, or you can fix for Vitaly, because I will be acting as a translator for Vitaly.
Ah, okay. Vitaly, please come.
Okay. Okay, so good luck in the tournament, Mihail.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, are we?
Just fix this game.
Okay. No, this is my game which I drew today, but I tried.
In just a minute, we're coming out with the game played by Vitaly Sivuk from Ukraine. The game ended in a draw. Just
Your game was online. Okay, should I make some intro? Vitaly должен говорить первый. Okay, I am really Arjun, yeah. Like I am very honored to translate for you. You already know my face since Bhopal, but Vitaly you know from earlier times. And the only time I organized the tournament, Vitaly won it. So he is my family friend, famous grandmaster from Nikolaev, and he had a very sharp game today. So, please, Vitaly.
Да, сегодня была очень интересная партия.
Today he had a very interesting game.
Соперник разыграл сицилианскую защиту, которую я не предполагал, то есть не готовился к ней.
So his opponent not always plays the Sicilian, and Vitaly was not really well prepared against Sicilian.
Он играл раньше защиту Алехина, и поэтому я...
So his opponent used to play Alekhine defense, but now he switched to Sicilian, which was a surprise for Vitaly.
Да.
But Vitaly is all-around player, so...
Knight 3, d6, d4,
Takes. And f3. But ты знаешь историю, да? When they organized for Polugoevsky the Sicilian tournament in Buenos Aires, two residents of Linares, Lubojevic and Salov.
Я играл уже один раз так против Уруха Монатова в прошлом году в Дели. Также так играл Магнус Карлсон против Сергея Галякина в последней партии.
No, but when когда Salov играл против Lubojevic, Lubojevic сказал, это не открыто сицилианский, там был большой инцидент, и они потом друг друга не говорили. So Lubojevich and Salov, they had a game, you know, in Buenos Aires, the tournament in the honor of Polugevsky. And when Salov played f3, Lubojevich said like it is not in the rules, and it was really interesting stuff. But Vitaly played with f3, and he played the important move e5. Yeah.
E5.
Well, because I mean, he thought like knight c3, for instance, should be the part of the Sicilian, and I think he lost the game and. But still maybe won the tournament. Lubo won the tournament.
E5 it's mine line. Также тут можно пойти.
Кон c6, c4, да?
Марокси.
Марокси.
Knight b3. Also bishop b5 check.
Knight bd7.
Knight d7. Knight e5, d5, take a6, bishop 4, d5, bishop d3.
And now it's very critical. Кон b6 или кон c5.
And bishop c5.
А, слон c5, окей. Окей. Это лучше, да?
Да, ну, черных компенсация.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so that we had some very technical discussion with Vitaly. So I was for maybe knight b6 or knight c5, but Vitaly educated me that bishop c5 is the most critical move here. Okay.
Knight b3. And this black имеет возможность have
a5 is the main line. I played with Kasparov, but Sergei Kasparov. The mini Kasparov.
опять содержит также ловушку.
So there is a trap here. So
c4 ошибка.
oh,
Конь e4.
oh, this is very beautiful. So and then queen h4 check, yeah.
King d2 and a4.
And the knight doesn't have any squares. No, Vitaly, you know, he plays both e4 and d4, and he is very well conversant with all these lines.
Тут надо конь c3 ходить.
Mhm.
Okay, d5.
And critical move bishop g5. This is the most critical line.
And this, I think, the best move d4.
Oh, this is interesting, but it okay. So Vitaly thinks that black's best is d4, and after c3,
h6. Maybe take.
maybe to take on f6, or maybe to play for some positional game.
And this critical position.
Yeah, he has some sagging pawns in the center, but also occupy some place.
Тоже можно играть. Take, 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 take.
And this endgame is slightly better for white, yeah?
Maybe bishop c6.
Ah, so it's critical move where to go with the bishop, to c6 or to e6.
Так играл Орешенко против Кравцева.
Areshenko played this against Kravtsev, also two Ukrainian stars.
И сделал легкую ничью черными.
So, and he made a very easy draw. I mean, very easy draw with bishop 6, but it looks better for white, no?
Yeah. But no.
No, the surprise of Sicilian had its stalls, you know, around here. So bishop e6 he played this
Yeah.
with so you castle long.
Maybe 7. in this position.
But then maybe
don't
you will
know.
bring your guys in like bishop b5 maybe, and then knight d5, no? Some aggression.
Idea.
Castles long and knight d5, yeah? Or knight e4 or d5 maybe better. Well, now rook h1 is I think you have some advantage. I don't know how much, but somehow the structure now these double pawns we don't like. We changed the idea. I mean, we take both sides. Okay, so bishop b5 check.
King 7, knight d5 check.
Very important, and he has to take.
Take. Rook d8.
Rook d8, and now it's so bishop c6 loses the d line, and but it's but it's interesting. So if bishop c6, b c6,
Мгм.
rook d8, rook d8, and now rook e1. Not to have this f5.
Maybe. But
Rook e2.
мгм.
Maybe some slight advantage to play c3 and queen c2.
Мгм.
Because he will never get the king up, yeah, that's the problem. If king e6 check and knight e4.
Мгм, мгм. I don't know, maybe slightly better.
Maybe, but not maybe, but it looks not so principled to give the. So rook hd1.
Take.
So they exchanged.
Rook c8.
Came
Great mistake. Just
take.
lose pawn. Bishop.
Ah, this is very nice house. All of a sudden h7 is. Ah, but then bishop h8 there, bishop e takes. So he will soften your pawn structure. But so let's show it. It's interesting actually. Maybe he can play it. So bishop f4,
g3.
g3, bishop e3 takes, bishop g1, h3.
h3.
Now critical from where to come. Yeah, bishop f2, let's say,
g4.
g4, knight e6. Not so simple. B6,
b6.
and now I'm threatening knight g5.
Mhm.
But still, white is clearly better.
Ah.
Like no,
Mm,
knight comes to help. Ah, from there. But knight g5, so bishop e4. Very important move. Yeah. This should be dangerous. After all, it was close, but it didn't work. Okay.
rook c8. Bishop d. No.
c3.
c3. Bishop 3. Bishop d.
Mm-hmm.
King 6.
No,
Maybe just h5 in this position. Bishop f5.
5 and rook d8. Yeah,
rook
only
d8.
move.
Or rook c7.
On rook c7 maybe to play knight d8, knight e6.
Mhm.
And it's not very clear how much advantage white has. No, white is of course better, but black defends
Maybe
well.
g4.
So pardon. So he has to play h4. Yeah. No,
H4.
h4 is better.
H4.
h3 we have to
H3,
play, and
Yeah.
and white is well, if you bring the knight to e4, for instance, somehow
Yeah.
some chances.
No. Okay, he played king 6, bishop c4,
King there.
bishop b6. Maybe bishop
G1 to
G1.
harass. Yeah.
rook d1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And knight d8 at the end of the line. Rook takes h7 and knight d8.
Knight d8, bishop
d5.
f5.
But can't you play bishop bishop d3 instead of bishop d5?
Bishop d3, knight
e6 and he's
knight g5.
okay. But bishop f5 and rook g8 first. Yeah. Rook g8, yes. Oops.
Rook g8. Maybe I'm just b6.
Yeah, not so much of advantage. So he is no, he's holding this endgame for the moment. So white is still better, but black has means of so sure. Okay, so we have to
He played bishop b6.
yes.
And this position я допустил очень грубый просмотр.
So
Knight duel just blundered.
so there
terrible
was a
blunder.
mistake that all of a sudden Vitaly blundered something. So knight d2. So where is the blunder?
I must play just bishop d5,
F5.
f5, and this
This endgame, yes,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and knight c4 and or b4 that you will be
Yeah, yeah.
slightly better. Okay.
Slightly better.
So what is the where is the blunder?
Before.
Oh,
Just before.
knight e5.
And
Oh, yeah.
95.
So you will lose an exchange, yeah?
Да.
That качество.
Ну, тут я фигуру отдал.
So конь e4, конь e5, слон b5, a6, f4.
Ну, можно было так, а я сыграл дядю.
Uh-huh. So Vitaly decided to sacrifice a piece, rook d5, e3, knight e4, knight d4,
Можно так было сыграть.
maybe knight b4. It is better,
No,
No.
not better.
but that's the other way to proceed, yeah? No, the pawn is very dangerous. It's not very appealing.
Ну, здесь можно как-то сопротивляться, то есть пойти, например, там, b3 или король c2.
But it's not pleasant. I mean,
Ну,
rook
надо
h4 he
как-то-
will have at some moment on the other side after king e6.
Ну, конь d4 сильнее,
Knight d4 is stronger, says Vitaly.
bishop
b3.
это лучший шанс для белых, потому что СД совсем безнадежный.
Yeah, so it's hopeless to take cd4, rook c4 because the pawn is going, and in the ending, if d4 falls, it's the game over. Yeah. Mhm.
And this just
Yeah, those
check and
and picking up the knight. Yeah.
two.
So somehow his knight is over the other camp. Some chances to trap it. Yeah. Oh, so the pawns are okay. c6,
Maybe.
a4, a5. This also, and then g3 at some moment.
Mhm.
So somehow there is some positional compensation for the piece, but it shouldn't happen in this way. Okay, so g3.
G3, knight
G1,
G1, king C2, rook
e6.
knight D2, maybe rook E5.
Aha, so this is no, but some serious stuff now because the knight. Okay, we shouldn't exchange the rooks, and now it's
I mean,
no. This is really unpleasant, yeah. So
yeah. Maybe just knight
no, but this one is okay. You have chances now. Maybe rook h5.
rook H5 and
I mean, when the only stays the bishop, you attack b7 maybe. You know, some chances in the ending.
knight G5.
f4 takes. We take rook takes there. Rook e2 check. King b3. Bishop g1.
Bishop E3.
You won. Oh, it's even the.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
this is really very bad. Yeah, no, it didn't work. So he has to try to exchange the rooks. No, what did he do?
Ну, то есть позиция белых совершенно безнадежна, но
Once again, Vitaly points out it's a hopeless position for him.
но тут начал играть не точно. Вот здесь, да, король D3.
So black didn't play very exact.
Я считаю, что не нужно было сюда вообще идти.
He says that it was not needed to pick up this pawn.
Ладья B5.
Rook b5, strong move threatening a4, a5.
Угу.
Now all of a sudden, black has also a weakness, no?
Yeah. A4.
King c6.
Rook F5.
Rook f5, very important. Bishop d8.
B4.
Oh, the king. Oh, so everything goes up now. b5, knight e4, knight.
То есть у черных теперь плохой слон, и не так просто.
So the Vitaly says bishop d8 is a bad bishop all of a sudden, so it doesn't participate into the game.
Knight H3. Knight
b3,
B3. Knight
g5,
check.
check.
Bishop. King D6. If King D7.
Maybe you switch the pieces, yeah? Rook d5 check and f4 and king knight f5.
And F4.
Knight f5. And now the knight controls everything. He has difficulties to break into the phalanx f4 g3.
d6, check, check, rook d5, b6, or bishop b6. I just
It can be dangerous, yeah. With you take with the pawn on d4 and then check, c d4 and again, you know, the
very dangerous.
very dangerous with two pawns, actually three even, because d4 covers some squares like c5.
b6. И здесь он предложил почему-то ничью.
Он предлагал, и
Да, он пошел b6 и
ты
предложил.
согласился?
Я согласился, да.
For some reason, black offered a draw, and Vitaly felt like he has to draw, and he didn't understand. But so white doesn't have chances to win the game, and only black can play for a win. And so how could the game continue, Vitaly, if rook d5? Maybe he was afraid of this stuff, but check and take pick up on a7, yeah. So rook somewhere, yeah.
На победу только черный играет, поэтому...
Да, so black had chances, but okay, he showed respect to the grandmaster, and the game ended up as a draw. Okay. Okay, so this was the game by Vitaly. So this is the end of our show. Let's get out of here. Ну, пойдем. Ну, они дал мне шоколад, у меня есть один друг. So I could...
Thank you so much
thanks.
for the analysis and also
I have to became too big.
for translation.
Yeah, I was. I always translate for Vitaly, you know, when he won the tournament in Tekirdağ, I was also acting as a translator. Okay, so пойдем, да, как ты вернулся? Okay, Sagar,
Thank you.
I will send you the games after the tournament because you don't have them. Because I'm playing in non-digital boards and
Yes.
going towards that side after
But
everything.
now you will come soon, yeah. So we had a very interesting session over here with Grandmaster Italic and Vitaly Sivuk. They both showed their game, and yeah, it was pretty interesting to see them analyze. You could see the depth at which they would go. Not really happy with or satisfied with just the result of the game, but trying to find the truth of the position all the time. As mentioned before, we will shift our attention to board number 1, where an extremely interesting battle is in progress between Abhijeet Gupta with the white pieces and Deepan Chakravarti. Just a second. So we have just been informed that there's some issues with the power over here. It's not working properly. So the games are not coming live. They have been held, but maybe we can get Vishal to tell us what exactly is the scene happening in the game between Abhijeet and Deepan.
It's a draw now.
It's a draw already. Did they agree for a draw?
Yeah, okay, almost.
Okay,
I
so
think as I was suggesting back then, King F2 was probably clear better, and King H2 just leads to a draw, almost by force.
So let's just quickly have a look at that game. No, this is the other game. Yeah,
Yeah, this is where he had played King H2. I thought.
here is where you were suggesting that white should go King F2 and not be afraid of any checks over here because you
Yeah,
have
because
G3.
now G3, Bishop G5, and E6 just simply wins. Now G3, Bishop G5, E6, and the bishop is attacked. And I think it's
it's
just
just-
clearly over. But
Okay.
it's not the same case with the king on h2 because bishop f3 white will get mated.
Yes. So, sorry. So I think it was important to go to f2, but after bishop h4, this is where the stream has kind of frozen. I mean, not the stream, but the live broadcast. That's what we got to know.
Yes, but here again he had to play g3. There's no other logical solution. Bishop g5, and now he played knight d4. e6 now is impossible because of bishop f3, and white would get mated.
That's why the king on
King
f2
on f2
was.
and king on h2. That's a big difference here.
You see, sometimes such decisions are so difficult to make that even grandmasters like Abhijeet Gupta, who are 26, 50 at some point, are unable to decide, in the limited time. So he played knight d4 here, stopping
Yes, knight
bishop
d4,
f3.
rook e1. So just a nice move, and now I
And
think
now
Abhijeet just took
e6
b5.
is not possible.
e6 would always run into bishop into e6 and rook e2 check. Okay, maybe
No,
not
but
immediately.
not
Maybe
here
not
because-
immediately. No, not immediately. But e6 now means just a second.
Sure, he played rook e1 or first bishop e3 maybe.
He played rook e1 first.
Okay.
Rook e1, then rook takes b5. happened.
Maybe he wants.
Yeah, what is the difference? Bishop f3? Is not
No,
possible.
it's not
no.
possible because of the knight.
Bishop into e6. I think bishop f6 is the move.
Yeah.
And now you're just threatening to take and take.
So this might.
So rook e2
Yeah.
is then a serious threat. Bishop has nowhere to go from c2. So
Yeah.
rook e1 is basically a nice move.
So e6 was played.
Not
Sorry,
e6.
sorry,
knight d4
knight
was
d4,
played, rook
rook
e1, and now instead of e6 he took on b5.
Yep.
And now bishop e3. I think Deepan was spot on from this precise movement.
I went there to see them, and you could see Deepan completely focused. He knew that he had his chances around the king, and Abhijeet was having extra time, but couldn't really make much use of it because the bishops are so menacing.
Yes, clearly the case. I think in this position, white played. It's white to move, right?
Yeah, it's white to play here.
Rook b1.
Rook to b1.
I think so. This is what happened. No, not rook b1. I'm sorry. No.
Mhm.
No. Is there another move that white can play apart from?
Yeah. Well, right now instead of rook b1.
Rook b1, bishop d2 is another nice draw.
Bishop d2.
Yeah. And now if e6.
I think the king will come and kind of stop that pawn.
Yeah. Okay. He still managed to complicate a little bit. I think now. I think rook b1 happened. Sorry, rook b1, bishop d2, e6. Now rook takes b1. Bishop takes b1, bishop c3. Knight b5. Bishop e5. And somehow now the knight got to d5.
Okay.
Yeah, and, but
So,
now it's just a draw in any case. I think so. Bishop e5, bishop f6 looks. Yeah, I think bishop f6 was what was played. Otherwise, e7 is possible. So bishop f6, knight c7, king g7, knight d5, bishop e5.
I could even take on e6. Perhaps.
Yeah, something.
Something like this,
yeah,
and
and the
in
game
the end, the game was
just ended
drawn.
in a drawn. Yeah.
Right. So a very fascinating struggle. I think we should get either Abhijeet or Deepan into the room whenever the game gets
surely
over.
we'll look for them.
This would be very interesting. Also, I think another game which is very interesting and which is worth mentioning is the game between Garev today, who was playing against
this is a completely crazy game as
Shantanu
I
Bambure.
figured out. Yeah.
He played first move a4, and okay, so Shantanu thought, well, that's interesting. He went e5, and then Garev plays h4. And then he played knight f6. We have Abhijeet in the room. Also, I think if Deepan we could invite, Niklesh, if Deepan could come in, that would be very nice. It was an exciting game. So we can get both of them over here. just to finish the story, I think instead of e5, d5 was played,
And now
h4, knight
h4.
f6, and now b4 was played.
Wow.
And e5, bishop b2, bishop d6. That's where I saw and I was like, amazing. So Deepan is here. Of course, he was.
Abhijeet is also around, and
we
it's
should
time
get
to
both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Deepan, you're tired, but you have the entire day to rest today. So if you can just spend 2 minutes over here, because you know the game was extremely interesting. I mean, one of the most interesting games of the tournament. Well, Deepan and Abhijeet will join us very shortly, but before that, let's just have a look at if there is something else interesting. Okay, Abhijeet, if you can just join us, also Deepan here. We'll let the two of them. So we have the top two players of this playing on top board right now over here. You guys played a very exciting game.
But I think in opening I made a silly mistake. Maybe if I check
Yeah,
basis,
yeah.
after that it was I was very
You
upset.
were just a tempo down
Yeah.
actually over the main lines.
No, yesterday I prepared a lot and I changed the mode. I was confused whether castle or c5 or c4. Then only I realized, okay, when he played bishop b5 check, I realized, okay, bishop c6, bishop d3. Now anyway I have to play bb7. Yeah, castle is the move. Okay,
Yeah.
this is just dubious.
But then knight d7 doesn't work. Yeah, knight e5 here. So anyway,
Yeah.
trouble.
I couldn't find any other move because there is always this threat like d5 and all now. So should be okay. Just is one more up. d7, bishop f.
Here queen c8 and the same idea with bishop a6.
It's just bad, I think.
You will be a tempo down.
Yeah. Probably you should try knight f6 immediately. I mean, queen c8. It's a move, just a move. Yeah, I mean, I don't.
But
see
knight
any threat.
f6, e5. I was worried.
Oh, sorry. No, not knight
Yeah.
e5 immediately. But what knight d5?
Bishop into h7 and bishop e4 is coming.
Yeah, but okay, this I thought you could play.
But I'm
Like just
pawn
CD,
down, no?
CD,
Then
CD, rook c8.
queen d2.
Okay, I would play this since it in
I
this
don't know,
position.
bishop g5 and see with the h7 pawn only in this variation white will attack. Without h7 pawn I was worried actually. That's why it was queen c8. I couldn't find any other. Queen e2 and
Yeah, rook e8. We felt that you would put your knight on f8. That's how
no
usually people
actually
defend.
I played rook e8 because I realized he wants to play a4 a5 all those stuff. Anyway, if I play rook d8 I don't have any other move. Next move I have to play rook e8. So I thought better to play rook e8. The next move I will play rook d8.
This is the first time I'm hearing this sort of an explanation.
No, because it's I'm completely minus. I realized that.
Okay,
No.
so basically you were short of moves here,
Yeah.
and you're just trying to make some
Yeah, make
kind
some
of
moves. Yeah,
move.
he was also this s3 and all is just improving his position because anyway I'm not able to do anything. That's why I played
No,
rook
my
d8.
point was here, like if I go a5 in the previous position instead of h3, I think he just takes. And the problem is I cannot take back just knight h5. I mean, I can go bishop g3 and play, but ideally I want to keep my bishop on this diagonal. I mean, this is just...
You want to keep your bishop.
Yeah, I want to keep my bishop, maybe bishop e3 or bishop d2, but the problem is then he goes queen c7 and some knight f4. I don't want to change pieces here.
Right.
So yeah, that's why I just played h3 one move so that I can. I mean, basically he doesn't have any moves, so why not to play? And here, I think this is a mistake, but I don't know.
No, actually, I was thinking this BA5. Then he's just playing rook into A5, CD4, CD4, bishop B4, then rook A1, and I'm not happy with my position actually. I of course I realized after C4 white should be better, but at least some practical chances. This.
But after C4, it's like you have given these two nice center.
But I don't know what to do. What else to do? Because B5 I was worried that positionals. This guy has got good sense. Definitely he will try some. Because A7 pawn is weak. All those stuff. Here, okay, some
No, but I think
tactics.
after
If I
bishop g5 should be quite bad. I don't know. I am to check
Yeah.
with the engine, but it looked like completely lost. And the problem is I'm also threatening e5 sometimes I'm also threatening d5.
what
and
you will do?
e5.
Play for H6, no?
h6 I had many moves, like one of them was just bishop h4.
Even I thought you will just even
No,
move this
also
side.
at some
Always
point,
this bishop into
no,
h6
at
is a
also
big
at some point
problem.
If I just give this
A6, no?
A6,
Yeah.
yeah.
In fact, I was thinking here itself A6. Bishop
Yeah,
into
but if I
A6,
have-
now BG5.
No, but
Okay, it's not necessary,
yeah.
but it was very interesting.
No, but what is the threat? Because
Because now I'm playing,
if you go back,
now D5.
Yeah, but I got with the pawn there.
But I think now it's even better without the pawn.
maybe the rook activity.
Yeah.
But okay.
Okay, yeah.
Seems like alpha 0 somehow.
Okay, I agree. Position is bad because
A6.
A6. Now
I don't know,
A6
probably
I played because I was
mistake,
worried
right?
about always you'll play A6. In this, okay, some tactics, if I'm able to survive.
But this should be just bad, yeah, queen c7.
But what else I can do?
No, I
Okay.
mean, I'm just saying, like, probably I should not take D, like, later on. Yeah, I mean,
There is no moves for me.
yeah. No, that I agree. You don't have
Because if
that
now if H6 he is taking Bf6, Bf6, E5 and D6, I should retain
Yeah,
that position.
Sure. But this position GF
Is
and-
forced
Probably I
again.
should play knight d4 immediately.
Yeah, instead of releasing D6,
Yeah.
you could have played knight D4.
Yeah,
quite bad,
Bishop
like-
C6, C8. Okay, of course
D-
it's
D-
bad.
D.
Fe.
Yeah, but you don't want to play this. Yeah, in
No,
the
no,
game.
but it's bad. I agree. I'm not saying.
No, but in the
uh,
game, you played queen e5. instead
Yeah,
of
I
this.
don't want to play this because yeah.
No, I understand.
Because you gave me chance, so I played Queen E5.
But in the same position here, like without D6, if
Queen
here
E5 again, huh?
is not possible.
Yeah, queen e5. Now I can play just queen g4, f4,
Queen E4, King H8.
f4.
And then
Same F. Oh, now it's
No, okay,
now
okay, the
it's
bishop is. I mean, it's
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
different now.
it's totally different, and you will have E5 also. E5 D6 will be there, and this not
you
good.
mean this is just
D6, yeah.
yeah finishing sort of. Okay, maybe it's
No, I mean hg and knight f3. I have.
Yeah. No.
so D maybe was premature and after.
Nice.
No, here
I
there are a lot of
started
actually
missing the
interesting
main-
positions actually. Here he could have played F4, but it was not clear. F4, Queen F4, Knight E6, and here no Rook D1. I am losing straight because Rook into D1. What I will do?
Queen e5.
Queen E5 and Queen Rook Queen G4 check. King
f7.
King F7, Rook D7.
And this is lost because.
Okay.
Rook into B. Okay, this is also there. Huh? Yeah. Actually, I wanted to play here. Actually, I was thinking I wanted to play Queen G3 here.
That's not for sure.
Knight D8, Rook D8.
Maybe
Play no.
No, it's okay. Maybe you have compensation.
No, I was thinking I was on severe time trouble also because this guy was having 1 hour more. Exactly.
yeah.
So
No,
I
but
have
okay. Initially, I just overlooked like a very simple variation. When you go f4.
This was
Here.
I think
Yeah.
the
I mean,
critical.
yeah.
Here, I just to be honest, I just overlooked that. this is possible. I mean, like queen g4, king f7 is possible. Like for some reason.
You thought it's mate.
Yeah. So he cannot go here. So that's why I started thinking in queen g4, king h8, f4, f5.
Now I don't know.
We
Maybe
could
he
also go queen c5. It was also interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but it was.
f4, f5. Yeah, I don't know.
Here
like
we analyzed for a lot of time, like queen f3, queen g3.
But then,
Uh,
but I will just play queen f6.
yeah,
right?
and so the
Yeah.
point was if you go queen g3,
Queen f6, yeah.
e5,
Queen f7
and this
and
might be dangerous
for white. Yeah.
because of this bishop.
Unnecessarily, why he will take risk this? Because rook is coming to g8. No. For
But there
f5,
should be something here, I felt, because this what you got seems somehow black should be able to hold, yeah.
I think from here on I'm playing the only move. Because now rook 8 is again forced.
Why not bishop c8?
Because
was
I
it?
was worried about knight c7 now.
And then rook a7,
Knight d5.
bishop c5.
Is it good?
I didn't check, but I just felt that it was.
I thought I should bring
no,
my
I
rook.
wanted to play bishop c8, knight d4.
Bishop. So if you play bishop.
Yeah, even this was there. Because now the rook is not coming, he will play e6.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
take gh, I think I can just play knight f5.
Yeah, I want to bring my rook into play. Actually.
No, knight f5, then no, sorry. I should first remove the king. King h2 maybe.
But this.
Yeah, knight f5. But this is too risky, yeah? Maybe gh. Yeah. Next move I'm playing knight f5.
G bishop h3?
Knight f5.
Check and
King h2.
That's dangerous.
this you don't want to get this activated if by
Yeah.
taking so.
My only hope is that bishop only.
Yeah.
But probably rook d1, rook e8 here. H3, bishop c. I mean, this looked forced to me, at least during the game. I don't know.
Rook d8 is also forced, I think.
So
Rook
d8
he played
was
rook
not-
d5
not
very
so
fast actually.
rook-
Maybe he could have played some knight d5 also, I was thinking.
bishop g4.
Rook f1.
No, I'm not playing for win anymore. Bishop c5, bishop e6. I mean, black is more than
Yeah,
okay
yeah,
here.
yeah.
So I have, but the point is, you need not play rook
Rook
d8 here. You could play some other move like.
Rook f8, huh? But
Yeah.
I was always worried about this e6.
But e6 for some reason was
I
not
was worried because
working
e6 and then you will play e5 and then what I will do? Next move you're threatening e5.
yeah, now probably rook d8.
Oh. No, but now knight d5 or bishop c check and
Yeah,
you will
yeah,
take.
yeah.
Huh? Okay.
But
This
I
is
mean,
bad
I
for white.
yeah. So I mean, I saw that, but okay, it's highly unlikely. I thought he will. I mean, it's too subtle, to play this rook.
Yeah.
Yeah, rook
f8,
f8, rook d8.
and this. But I didn't understand why he took this g4 pawn. Like this was
Yeah.
too.
No, I was
Maybe
worried
just
because
get the king
no,
here,
no,
that
he-
was
no. His
possible.
idea, I understood. Is if I'm playing bishop b7, he's gonna leave that rook there.
And maybe BD1 is how
Yeah.
he would continue, yeah.
BD1, bf3. I was worried about such kind of. Actually, it was very unclear only. But I was playing quite fast now because I had less than 7 minutes something, and in this case I am 40 minutes.
No,
so
but the point here is you can just remove the rook somewhere. I don't know. And I don't see like how, because
Well-
rook is stuck on d5, rook f8, rook g8 somewhere, rook f8 maybe.
rook f8, e6.
But again, I'm not threatening anything.
Oh, threatening e5.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm winning after.
No, you'll play bishop f5, no?
And still, I don't see how they're making progress.
Then I will play rook d7, knight d5. I don't know.
No, it's too far. So it's just rook f4 maybe.
If now I play rook f5.
Take on g4.
Rook f7. Oh, always this bishop c5 check is irritating. I will move the king first. Wait. Rook f8 you are playing. Rook f8.
But anyway, like bishop g4, I think I should be much better after that.
Okay,
because-
rook f8. If I play b d1,
Yeah, somewhere bishop d8. Yeah, bishop d8 is a threat actually. Yeah.
Now if a5 falls,
yeah, then yeah.
No, rook f8 probably I have to play e6 because
Mm,
to stop bishop d8.
yeah. On rook f4, huh?
Yeah, and yeah, rook f4 probably.
right? So bishop g4 here, Abhijeet. should
Yeah,
be
probably I
better,
should be much better here. I
I was not sure
Uh,
because I'm getting this by force.
Yeah, but
From
I
here.
could play also king f2. It was also interesting.
And here, yeah, in the commentary, Vishal was certain that king f2 would win.
King f2, yes.
I'm not sure, but okay, this variation definitely.
No, this will
looks
definitely win.
No, this will
good
win. This
for
will win.
white. G3, bishop g5, e6. And now, I mean, there's no bishop f3 coming when the king was on h2, so.
Maybe.
No, I could have done this, like. But I thought even king h2 is. I mean, sort of felt like king f2 is winning, but I thought king h2 is safer.
Safer, yeah.
But I think after king h2, bishop h4, it's already not clear.
There was another interesting one here, e6.
And if I take.
If you take, I have this. So I thought this is forced.
Yeah.
Even bishop e1,
From bishop e1.
rook e5, yeah? Yeah, rook e5. It's not so. Bishop f7. But bishop e1?
Bishop e1, I thought I could just.
But then it's not. e5 means bishop c3.
No, 1 second.
There is a mate or what? Rook h7,
Can
knight
I
e7.
go-
King here. Knight check. Looks very risky.
You mean to say something like
e5.
if I take knight e7
Yeah.
or first
No.
take on h7?
Check,
Yeah.
check knight e7. Sure. It looks very risky. Yeah. King g8 again.
Looks risky, but there's no
Probably,
mate
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was missing a lot of moves here. I don't know, g3 I should go. Did I go g3 or?
Where?
I think I played knight d4, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, I played knight d4 here.
Knight d4.
Yeah, just what I did, yeah? Probably I should have.
Same, no, knight d4.
No, I should have.
No, now bishop f3 is threat.
No, I didn't play g3. I mean, here. I should.
Rook b5, yeah?
Yeah.
And rook e1. This is the thing. Rook e1. g3. Yeah. Bishop g5, yeah?
Apparently, so Shreyas feels that Deepan is tired.
Well, actually, there were a lot of interesting comments about Rajnikant and all, but we skipped it because of the serious nature of analysis.
Yeah, here I don't really see like.
Now it's already, I think it's equals. Rook b5, bishop e3.
I mean, he has too many threats.
Yeah. No, my simple threat is if you allow me, I will play this rook f1. Then there is this pp minimum. Rook b1 is
No,
4.
I could play somewhere bishop a4, but the problem was, sorry, here, I think bishop b1 or bishop a4, one of the moves.
Bishop a4. Bishop a, see, I always have this move also, this h5 for bishop a4 h5. It looks risky also for you, I thought. I thought you will play rook b1 for sure.
Yeah,
This is draw.
here.
Yeah, because knight d6 I will play bd e6. Knight c7 is, but I am getting this bishop c3 nice. No?
Yeah, you could also play bishop e4.
Yeah, but okay, I thought that is even more. It's very much simpler. Bishop c6 is. This is knight e7, bishop e5, e8 takes king g8. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably I missed my chance earlier.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So, sorry, really very tired now.
Yeah, but thanks a lot, both of you, for this wonderful analysis. Everyone was looking at the game with great interest, and it was nice to get your comments in as to what you were thinking.
Thank you. Yeah.
Abhijeet can say something about yesterday.
About yesterday against Gukesh. Yeah. No, I mean, Abhijeet, just one question about yesterday's game against Gukesh.
Yeah.
How do you trick people's... I mean...
I tried to trick. I mean, my opponent tricked me today, so I guess it's E1 anyway. So
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
but at least you didn't lose the game. I mean, yesterday Gukesh played quite well, yeah?
yeah, I mean, I don't understand like why. Let's say you can play a normal game and make a draw. Instead, you go to a worse position and try to hold on for your life, you know. So at some point, I thought I should be much better. Like in the beginning, when I took Queen D1, he had to take Knight D1 because Rook D1 I have some initiative with Bishop F5. So here for sure, I thought like I should be much better. Like my Rook is on B8, I'm developed. He has to still develop his Bishop and Knight. But for some reason, after Rook D8, he plays Knight E3, and I don't see how to continue. I mean, how to play for a win.
Yeah.
But luckily, I managed to find this Knight G4 H5 idea, so that at least it's not liquidating immediately. And after that, probably when you played, what was it? I think when we changed the knight. Yeah, let's just go through it quickly. So when we changed the knight, I thought maybe I have some chances, but it's more optical than, you know. I mean, I cannot be.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, I cannot be objectively better. Let's go from slightly. Yeah. So here, yeah, I think I should be much better, but for some reason, yeah, it's not that easy.
So we are analyzing the game between Gukesh and Abhijeet very quickly, because Abhijeet would also be very tired. But just to show how he tricked his opponent.
Yeah, probably the best idea is to play knight e8 f5, but it seems just too slow to me, like just b3 or something. But
you
probably
have to take advantage of your lead in development.
yeah, and that's the logical thing to do. You know, exchange his most active piece, and you know, you try to play e4, clear the diagonal for the bishop. But just b3, and yeah, h5. This takes. And for f5, I mean, I knew that it's
E4
slightly
was a
double-edged.
strong move, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my initially my idea was to just play rook f8 here, and just play f4, give up this a pawn and just push this side. But then I thought, okay, this is interesting because for some reason in my mind I thought rook f2 is forced, and so I get like better version of it. You know, takes f4. I don't have to play rook f8. So he goes this, and obviously I saw all this and rook f6. But this, I thought I have a lot of play here.
Yeah.
I mean, he could play here rook g6, king f7. I mean, I didn't check yet last night what was the evaluation exactly, but
Somehow bishop
this
c3 was
rook d8 was kind of annoying, like, to say the least. But yeah, bishop c3 is like very logical.
and here rook g6 was computer suggestion, but I think it's not so easy.
Rook
after
g6, king f7, rook c6. But if I just remove the bishop,
I think perhaps just bishop f3, and then I mean this guy on c3 is defended, so you might not have much tactics going in a way.
but let's say bishop f3 if I come here. I mean, that's what I'm saying, like practically it's
Yeah,
the moves doesn't come that easily for white. So
Correct.
I guess I don't
here
know.
bd5 and bishop e5 might be possible. So
Yeah, but like again,
and then you have this rook g1, but here okay, there's this bishop.
there's also bishop there, so I have enough cavalry on this side. So yeah, so I'm objectively it's slightly risky, but I thought practically I have like decent chance to outplay him here. And here, yeah, bishop d2 is definitely not correct. He should play bishop d5. But then again, I like it's a game, yeah. Rook f. Probably I would go immediately king h8. And I mean, I was ready to give up my queen side just to get this
Yeah.
hold of this position.
Yeah, I think you are already in your typical mode to to give up.
I have to
stuff.
swindle him.
sure.
So I mean, also he was playing in second, so not be so easy for him. So here, bishop e3, rook e1.
Now this was actually a very nice position.
Yeah,
for
but
him.
for some reason I thought like this should be much better for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so king g1. This is bishop f5 is very important here. So that I mean, I'm somehow forcing him to play rook c3.
Hmm.
Because if he tries to defend passively, then I just move in rook d1, rook c1, and if he once he plays c4, then should be just technically lost.
Yeah.
So rook d2, rook c6 is again correct. Takes. King d6, rook c6. This all correct. Probably here rook c4 was more accurate, but I don't know what I had in. I mean, I was not sure whether rook c2 is completely winning. Probably I would have taken bishop c2 and yeah.
But rook c5.
Rook
and
c5, e4. Yeah, this I saw. Bishop h5. But I thought I could play bishop h3 here. So I don't know. You take, yeah?
Yeah, take e3, right?
No, take. I wanted to do this, but I'm not sure if it's. Yeah, you could play. You could come back. You have to play rook d5, rook d1.
Yeah, rook d5, rook d1.
And yeah, I'm not sure where to put this guy.
King e6 maybe, and then.
Yeah,
to
but
e5.
it comes with some check on here. Yeah, maybe, but it looks quite dangerous for black anyway.
Yeah.
And with seconds, you never know. Yeah, but yeah, I'm still not sure whether it's winning or not. But okay, right now I don't care.
Yeah, sure.
So bishop g2, it's like e3. Yeah, now it's already quite bad for him.
And the finish was very nice. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I could play, as I told you earlier. Yeah, like if you have a chance to
give a beautiful
finish, you have to. So I mean, I could play rook a2, rook b2. It's still the result would be still the same. But this is quite nice. Yeah.
So great. Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you.
Abhijeet. By the way, we have Timur Garev in the room.
Thank you.
And we had one question by Omkar, which is based on both of you, which says, what if, would you have liked to face Timur's opening today? Did you see his opening?
No, unfortunately I didn't get a chance to see his game.
His first move was a4.
He played a4.
Yes, his opponent played d5
And he played h4.
and he played h4.
But I think during the game, when I looked very casually at his board. It looked normal position.
Yes, somehow he managed to get this knight on
Yeah.
d4 and blockade and stuff. But I mean, suppose you are black here.
Yeah, I would
Would
be
you
very
be
happy.
happy?
Yeah, of course. Of course, I would be happy. If somebody plays like this, of course, rather than the.
But you won't
Normal.
feel like, oh, insulted or something like that, yeah?
No. If I win my game, it's okay. You can insult me during. If I win the game, we both know who is insulted. After that.
Okay, so thanks a lot, Abhijeet,
Thank
and wish you all the best for the rest of the tournament. So guys, we just had a nice session with Abhijeet here. We had some questions here. I will answer them. Tapovrat, Manish, and all of you guys. But first we have Timur, who has played one of the most interesting games of the tournament. Timur, it was like after your incident yesterday, which was related to the walkover, we felt that you had somehow lost some of the interest in playing or something, but then you come up with this and change the entire complexion of the event.
Well, I think it's just wasn't so much necessarily lost interest. I guess you do a little bit just because, as I was late to the game, I think number one, according to the rule, I lose the game, right? So as far as the result goes, that's fine, Then, as I speak with the opponent, actually, as I was, running towards the hole, I saw my opponent and I say, hey, what's going on, right? Because I don't know if maybe the round is delayed, maybe the game hasn't started. Maybe my opponent is waiting for me, because I did call the TD. I did call one of the people who is responsible for transportation at 9:30 as the game was started, and I say I'm on my way, hoping to make it very soon, as we're riding over. I don't know, maybe my opponent is, my clock is not even started, So I don't know, there's just, every situation is different. And as I come in, my opponent seems to be willing to play, and as we're trying to get the clock started, it seems like he's just a little hesitant, so I wasn't sure what it was. So then, as the TD came up, we had the whole discussion as far as, listen, you lost the game, even though my opponent does want to play, which, you would imagine will, be played as a normal game, obviously with, 33 minutes less on my clock, which was basically 3 minutes past the grace period. But then I guess, as the TD took the process, he realized that I had a legitimate reason for being late, at least for considering the situation. So, and then he had a certain process in mind, which, I didn't get much into, since it seemed like, hey, just play the game, and then, it seemed fine. And based from my perspective, I imagine if somebody did ask whether, why is he playing the game? If he was late, he should lose the game, because if it's me, then I'm gonna lose the game as well, which the appeal committee consists of all the top players in the tournament, right? So I guess, if somebody mentioned that, then they filed the appeal, and then, the result was, my loss. It's fine. So that's how I saw it. So we played the game, and it was actually a very interesting game. I had a dominant position. I was winning. I'm pretty sure I was winning throughout, early middle game. But then my opponent was actually very resourceful, and in the end he held me to a draw, just about. And with the very last move, he just gave up the game, which was quite surprising. So then I win and then I find out that I lose, right? So, which I think in the end is actually is much better than had the tournament director insisted that indeed there was going to be a loss for me straight away without us playing the game.
So that's a different, like many people would say the fact that you got to play and you won and then didn't get a point is a little disheartening, but you look at it at the other way, that you played is much better than not playing.
Yeah, because I think ultimately this whole, I mean, the thing is, it's like there's the rules and then there's, you know, the purpose of, I mean, you can follow the rules and then just, you know, get a completely wrong result just because, you know, you're not following the purpose in mind. And I think the whole purpose of this tournament is to you know, help inspire, you know, some of the, you know, diligent, great, promising players to get better. And I think you know, my opponent is definitely one of those players. I was actually as I was preparing for my opponent, I was actually quite curious to play him, because as I see, he played like a lot of the stuff I like to play, and very creative, plays very interesting, you know. And as we played the game, you know, I think, you know, most importantly, he learned a lot.
Yes.
You know, his from the opening idea, you know, which I actually was in the same shoes he was, facing you know, my friend's grandmaster's preparation, and I was in trouble early, just the same way he was, not knowing the idea. So now he knows the idea, and then he gets the whole experience with the way the game went on all the way through the end, playing in a great end game, and then you know, obviously a mistake that cost him the game and could cost him a lot in the future. This is a great experience that he can use in his career. Yeah.
So Timur's opponent for that round, if I'm not mistaken, was Kaustav, right?
Kaustav, no?
Kaustav. And today, Timur, I think there's not enough time to go over your entire game, but definitely what we want to look at is your opening and what inspired you to play this.
Well, I guess let's see. So should I play? Okay, maybe I could just tell you the moves, right?
Yeah, A4.
So yeah, I was you know, I played knight a3. Well, actually, the previous round I played so it was let's see, d4, I think, and then I played knight a6.
Really, you played this?
Yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah, I played knight a6.
That was against Manish Hamal from Nepal.
Yes, and then well, my opponent was he just wanted to play his strategy. So knight f3. I played knight h6. He played g3. I played c5. He played c3.
F5?
Not g6. Bishop g2, bishop g7, castle.
But suddenly we have a normal position.
Yeah, castle. Yeah, and then he played something like oh, sorry, it's not castle. I played d6 first somehow at one point, and then he played queen a4, and then bishop d7, queen b3, rook b8. Then he played like a4. I castled. And knight bd2, queen a5, and I feel like it's suddenly black is just better. Yeah. You know, you have all these different ideas, cd, queen to h5, but yeah, I don't know, I guess.
There's some Omkar Chakradev says Timur does not like the center, but his hair is always well centralized. Okay, so first with the knights.
Yeah, first with knight, but I didn't want to. I felt like my opponent might have seen my previous games, and then he might have prepared
for knight a3.
Yeah, so I might have prepared and had some improvement, you know. So I thought I'd back it up with a4 and h4.
That's a new line, yeah. Is there any name to this?
I think it's actually Alex Waller, the one who brought it up to begin with, and it kind of inspired me, you know, to experiment a little bit.
But what about
double
this
rook?
move, yeah?
Double rook, I think you call him. Oh, rook a3. Yeah. Well, I'm not knowledgeable enough for this one.
Like
yeah.
for example, getting the rook here, maybe some interesting.
Could be cool, huh? fight for the dark
game,
squares.
yeah,
Don't give me those ideas.
So h4,
Knight
knight
f6.
f6, and because he didn't play e5, you thought, well,
Yeah, may as well, right?
one
And then-
more move.
And then yeah, if I'm gonna try something out, I'll may as well just at least build up one of the sides.
So you mean to say that even after playing a4 and h4, white is objectively not worse?
Oh no, I think if you plug in the computer every time you get this some miserable estimate, like -1.5 or something.
Really?
Like that. Yeah, it gets bad. I mean, this is probably -1 already.
-1.
Yeah, this is -1.
That's quite a lot. And you agree with it, or?
It could be like the way I played against my opponent yesterday. I guess at times. I mean, this is obviously a little exaggerated, but unless you consistently play this kind of stuff, maybe you have a couple ideas up your sleeve. I mean more like Sikorsky opening, or maybe orangutan or G3 B3 type stuff. You can certainly make it work, and I feel like you could make it work against certain kind of players. Generally, even those top level players. You play very good solid grandmaster who likes to just play good solid chess. At times you may afford to play a little ambitious, just trying to, just pushing those ideas and then still make it work, just because they don't want to play solid, and then you can kind of outmaneuver them a little bit and get a very reasonable play.
So that's amazing, Timur. Thanks a lot for your insights. We always feel privileged to have you here in India, playing such wonderful stuff, opening up the horizons.
Well, this is, I think I have your plan figured out. You just show them this position, okay, and then you say, okay, well, the rest of it you can learn on the DVD coming out, in our collaborated project, Sagar and Timur,
Chess-based India, and we're going to work on how not to play in the center.
Avoid the center, avoid the middle.
Avoid the center, and there's new rules by Timur Garev. So Timur, have a nice time today.
Appreciate it.
Going
Thank
to
you, Sagar. Finally get a bit of a break.
Yeah, take some rest and enjoy your day.
Thank you. Thank you, Sagar.
So today was a very interesting day. Timur winning with this double roue opening, a4 h4, and we had a draw on the top board. Somehow the results have not been updated, nor have the moves been, because there has been some kind of a power failure, as they say. Any interesting results that we should be knowing of? Atul, Amruta, any interesting results?
Deep had a very interesting endgame.
It should have been drawn actually, but
no,
Deep.
it was not,
So Deep Sen Gupta won against Abhishek Kelkar. By the way, if I'm not mistaken, Saptarshi Roy Chowdhury beat Hoa Nguyen, right? Or because he was 2 pawns up in the end game. So maybe that's one result to look out for. Lalit drew against Niranjan. So we are coming to the close of this live stream today, but there were some questions that I would like to take right now, because they were asked on this stream, so I'll go back. One was by Sushan Acharya. I don't know if he's still online, but his question was how to know my playing style so that I can select openings which suits the way I play. Well, this is a very interesting question. How do you know your playing style? Now, first of all, you can take certain kinds of positions and try to see what you are coming up with. If you like to play some aggressive style, maybe you need an experienced player to actually tell you what you are doing. So if you have a coach, or if you know someone who is quite experienced, then you can ask him about your style by showing him the game, and he can suggest. The other thing which I would recommend is that you can take games of top players and try to find if you are playing like them. For example, you know that Capablanca, Rubinstein, Smyslov, Karpov, all of these are positional players. So take their games, try to analyze them, try to guess their moves. If you are coming closer to their moves every time, then maybe you have the positional feel in you. Or if you take games of Kasparov, Alekhine, and such attacking players like Tal, and you are trying to you understand their play, maybe you are an attacking player. So this is a good way to know your style of play, and then you can go for different sorts of openings that you would like to play. Maybe King's Indian and Knight off for aggressive players, Karo-Khan, Slav for the positional kind of guys. So that's one thing for Sushan Acharya. Right, we had a few more questions. Shreyas Avhad, who said, I am 1739 rated, how should I increase it? It's very difficult to say a direct way in which you can increase, but definitely one thing that I do recommend, and I have been recommending this numerous times, is to analyze your games. If you do analyze your games, you understand where you are going wrong and keep improving it every time, then you are indirectly just improving your level of play. So that's my suggestion to you. How do you analyze your game? Well, the first thing is, when you're playing the game, you're thinking a lot. So immediately after the game ends, go back to your room or wherever, open chess base. That's the place where you input all your variations. Remember the variations you have thought during the game and put them in. Once you do that, you will realize what you were thinking, not just in the air. Many times we have half calculated variations, but when you put them on the board, you realize, I didn't calculate this, I missed this, I should have looked 4 moves deep, but I looked only 2. So that's one thing which I definitely think that Shreyas, you should be doing, analyze your game. Tapovrat Handiki said that I wish to ask you both, his question was for Deepan and Abhijeet, maybe I can take it up, is chess as a career challenging in India? Tapovrat, from my experience, I feel chess as a career has much more scope now than ever before, because you have all these public limited companies employing you, giving you a salary for not even coming to work, because you are in the sports quota. Secondly, you have good tournaments happening in India. Even here, if you see 5 lakh rupees is the first prize in Delhi Open. You have the national championship now that will take place this year, which will have 5 lakh rupees as the first place. So chess is becoming lucrative. I would say there's more money flowing in with the efforts of AICF, also our secretary Bharat Singh Chauhan, and also work done by, I would say, Chess Base India. We are trying to popularize the game. More money should flow in. So yeah, it's definitely safer than before to be a chess player. Right, so I think that's those are all the questions. Trevor Nadar says, I really appreciate your work, Sagar. I wish you all the best, and to take your channel to the next level which you deserve. Thank you so much. We are going to keep working hard, bring live coverage, also videos, analysis. In fact, my next plan is to start a coaching session where it would be a 1-hour training session where people could come in and interact with us live, where you could learn a lot. So okay, some people are saying that the audio is horrible. I don't know if that was the case for everyone. Well, maybe if that was the thing, then please let us know. We'll try to improve it, but I have a feeling that audio was pretty okay in my opinion. And Ayush Nayak, the last question for the day, says how to manage study and chess. Quite a difficult question. I would say sometimes when you have to give really challenging examinations, you will have to take a break from professional chess. You can't keep on going to tournaments and also play chess. For example, if you are giving a challenging exam like say CA or MBA or all these, you might have to take a break for at least a few months. But as Amruta says, you don't really have to give up chess to balance between your studies, because one of the main things that you learn from chess is how to concentrate, and the thing which can be done in, let's say, 2 hours by others could be done in half the time by you, because you can concentrate better. So yeah, that's the thing. Don't give up chess for sure. Even if you take a break for studies, come back to it as soon as you can. Yeah, Amruta says skip TV, television, social media, mobile phones, WhatsApp, and try to play chess in that time. Very difficult. So thank you guys for this, for being online with us. Today was a very nice session, some very interesting games. We had Italic, Sivuk, Abhijeet, Deepan, also at the end Garev in our live room. So this is turning out to be very nice, and I hope that you are enjoying. So about the audio problem, please write down in the chat, and if you feel the same, we will improve it in our next live session tomorrow. The game begins at 9:30 a.m. and we should be online, so please do watch it, and do not forget to subscribe.